Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero. We are talking about, once again, Jon Femalin having more meltdowns because, of course he is, of course he always is. And it seems to me that, again, the feminine energy is, of course, coming out, and there are absolute dummies who think I'm doing pocket watching when I never mention anything about people's money as far as being concerned with how much they make. What I do is show the hypocrisy as they seem to think that I care about how much money they make, but I show the money because they say, oh, this is low and this is not making much, but I'm like, but you're not making much either, it seems, but you're making even less than this person that you're crying about is not making a lot of money. But, of course, over the weekend, Jon Femalin was still crying about YellowFlash because that's what he seems to do. He's doing the whole Ethan Van Sciver thing, aka the throat goat, just constantly crying about other creators, constantly doing this pocket watching nonsense that he's going to continue to do, it seems, probably for the next 3 months or so, through May, through June and July. So we'll have plenty of content on the channel because, of course, this is what we do. We make fun of dummies who want to sit here and cry about other people's projects rather than work on their own projects. So this is, of course, the final week for ISOM number 3 at 4 days left. 615K and 10,839 total books sold. Definitely more books sold than any of the clowns in CG you want to talk about, but that's not what they're concerned about, it seems. And of course, you also have the Horseman, number 1. Got in some more cover C's, apparently, because I remember that cover C for this was actually sold out. So there's 25 days to go with $276,657, 9,230 total books sold, coming from Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. I'm actually really excited for this. The Horseman, Welcome to Flores Park, was one of my favorite books in the Rippaverse thus far, next to Alpha Core and Bloodroof. And Yara number 1 was awesome, too, but yes, so they did get in more cover C's. I remember when they said cover C was sold out, so get in on those variant covers while you can. Yara number 3, of course, in 35 more days will be done. At 139,755 in total sales, 4,719 total books sold. Now we move on over, of course, to the Golden Patriot, the Mighty Golden Patriot, at 69,959 in total sales, not including shipping, taxes, and other fees, of course. So it's probably a lot higher and a lot closer to 100K than a lot of people think. However, on other platforms like Indiegogo and Kickstarter, they typically add in all that together with 2,558 total books sold. I will end up getting the other 2 covers I didn't buy, since a certain Jon Femalin wants to sit there, trash his own friend for making a cover for Flash's book. So yes, I will end up buying the Kelsey Shannon cover because he wants to sit there and trash his own friend, while saying that, of course, Flash, gets covers from people, even though the Mighty Golden Patriot cover C that Irene did, Irene Shikalski, aka Rini, who's working on Fiendish, her own comic series, made a much better cover than Shane and Ethan, in my opinion, for ISOM 2. So it is great to see, as usual, John Buag making his first stretch goal. 94 backers and over $3,000 for his Heroic Tales number 2. Please get in on this. This is a great book. The first entry of this book was absolutely awesome, handling the struggles between his family and being a superhero with the Patriarch. And this is obviously a flip book with 2 stories, one with the Patriarch and one with Mary Sue, which the first stretch goal card is going to be Mary Sue herself, with the back of the card designed by yours truly. So get in on that while you can. Now, Femalin, of course, puts out, of course, the usual gay meme that he likes to peddle from his frog daddy, aka Throat Goat, aka Ethan Van Sciver, saying that the Golden Shower Patriot breaks 70K yet, which apparently the site of Rippercent broke for a day. And of course, who do you know absolutely celebrated? Well, it's the old Throat Goat himself, because other people's, bad things happening to other people is always a great joy for fat, overweight, out of shape New Jerseyans who can't get out a single book this year. We're already into May and he hasn't shipped out a single book yet. I wonder how that's going, right? So I said, bro, YellowFlash really does live rent-free in your head. 3:50 a.m. when you're posting this tweet on May 3rd, and you're tweeting out pocket-watching nonsense. How about you create a new book that doesn't suck? Like I've been showing lately, the complete black pages in Godlike, the absolute trash fire that it is. Or finish your current projects. 0 updates for Godlike 2, no April update for Graveyard Shift 5. Which, as you can see, there's 0 updates. And the last update for Godlike 2 was March 23rd, 2025, so that was over a month ago. Oh, sorry, not for Godlike 2, for Graveyard Shift 5. So, why are you so concerned with what money YellowFlash is making? And as usual, I mentioned no money at all in this post. And of course, you have dummies in the comments talking about, you're doing the exact same thing you're giving him crap for. Get some self-awareness. Meanwhile, I mentioned absolutely nothing about the money at all. So how am I doing the same thing that I'm saying that he's doing? I didn't mention anything about the money. I mentioned that there's no updates for Godlike 2 and there's no update for April for Graveyard Shift number 5. So you're an absolute bot, just like the rest of the haters on my channel that watch me. And I appreciate that. I've actually had a person, subscribe to me for 2 years, still hating on me because, of course, they just got to. They have to do that because that's the only meaning they have in life. I'm putting Rip Reverse downsizing on my 2026 bingo card, says Jon Femalin. So, again, doing the same crap that they've been saying since 2022, sorry. Launched in 2022, the Rip Reverse started. 2022, the same nonsense these guys have been saying since 2022, that the Rip Reverse is going to fail, the Rip Reverse is going to downsize, the Rip Reverse is going to go out of business. We're now into 2025, the third year of the Rip Reverse being a thing, and it's still going. Once again, I have to remind stupid, retarded haters that I do support other comics that are not Rippaverse related. I literally have a pinned tweet on my profile, but they don't know that because they get all their information and they get their new downloads from their Frog Daddy Throat Goat on a daily basis and don't absolutely know that. You're coping and seething, you just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. And of course, this is the slop that your Throat Goat puts out about Rainbow the Brute 4 years later. Still working on the same book. Still working on the same book. And of course, Not a Fed says, in a shocking turn of events, Rosa Femalin starts to parrot Evan's argument against using Ripasend. Then forgets it was Evan who set the $1 million mark himself, and closes with crying about because YellowFlash didn't use the Kangs to do his covers. 100% pure Femalin. Hashtag blame more campaign. When Femalin goes on to say, at this point, I see no significant financial advantage in partnering with a company like Rippaverse to publish your work. Bruh, show me the money. Golden Shower Patriot, in my many others' opinions, like invalid opinions, and opinions that are irrelevant because nobody gives a crap. You guys are washed up comic pros, as you've always been. Should have been 1 million plus with Rippaverse and Flash's audience. No, it shouldn't have, because majority of Flash's audience isn't there for comics. It's for his commentary on entertainment. YellowFlash could have made less than $200K on his own and saved any publishing fees Rippaverse has. Again, you're making an assumption about publishing fees. You guys literally have to pay platform fees for Indiegogo. Gee, I wonder why Ethan Van Sciver doesn't post on Kickstarter, because you have to give constant updates on Kickstarter. That's probably the real reason that Ethan Van Sciver doesn't put his campaigns on Kickstarter, because he has to do updates, and that's something he's not very good at doing. Factor in any delays the publisher may have put on him, costing launch times and possibly a lot of money. Then launching or closing projects around YellowFlash's campaign launch probably didn't help this first time, probably last time companies launch. Yes, this effort might have not just cost time and money, but it may have straight up destroyed YellowFlash's comic company. I mean, he doesn't have a comic company. He's just publishing through Ripasend. YellowFlash can recover a bit perhaps by crowdfunding the book he did with Joe Ball. He or Ball fulfilling. Using Ripasend for fulfillment might be a good idea if you're selling over 10,000 books. Otherwise, you can do it yourself and save some money there. Well, it's only been out for a week. If YellowFlash would have stayed on good terms with CG, 300K plus, easy, but I believe YellowFlash thought Rippaverse was the road to having it all. Yeah. 300K easy? If it was 300K easy, why didn't you make 300K then? If 300K was so easy, why didn't you make 300K on Graveyard Shift 5 or Godlike 2? I don't even think you made 300K on Godlike 1. But I don't have that pulled up. I'll have that pulled up for the live stream later on today. With CG in his corner, YellowFlash would have had no launch delays with crowdfunding other than by his choice, and no fees from CG to market and walk Flash through on how to self-publish. You are the same guys that delay books for multiple years. I didn't get Godlike for like 3 years. I didn't get Cyberfrog for like 4 years. Cyberfrog 2. And Ethan Van Sciver, a.k.a. The Throat Goat, is still fulfilling Cyberfrog 2 because he has to finish his dumb head sketches. Keep in mind that Flash individually reached out to myself, Shane Davis, and EVS for covers, then rejected our offers. Yeah, the offer that EVS was going to charge him $4,000 for a cover. Yeah, that's totally worth it. No. My cost was so low because I wanted to help Dillard and Flash out. YellowFlash expressed concern to me on if I was making any actual money. He nixed my generous offer too. Yeah, because he didn't go with your crap. Who cares? And then you have EVS telling Zachary Maris, I don't know if I'm saying that right, it looks good. I wouldn't take it to Represent. There's no evidence as of yet that it makes a difference in sales. Meanwhile, Achromatic Chronicles Green sold more books on Represent than it did with Indiegogo. Yeah, okay. Make it make sense, homie. The evidence is there, stupid. I understand that you're not very intelligent and you don't have anything more than 2 brain cells rubbed together because you have a single-digit IQ, but okay. And you're just cutting into your earnings by doing so. But good luck to you guys. Like, what? And as I've showed before, too, I showed it with this. I showed it with this straight up. I said it's because those 2 individuals are nothing but snakes, slithering around thinking they're owed anything and everyone should kiss the ring. When they have zero control over someone, they spur God and the mask always slips. Jon Femalin was also the same guy who claimed Eric should use Indiegogo to crowdfund his book and not have his own website to house his comics. Shane Davis now almost exclusively sells on his own website, but there's not a peep about it from Jon. Funny how that works. Also, how well did it work out for Matt Martin publishing under Evan? $72K in the launch window for Snowman #1. Years late for people to receive their product because, of course, it was published under all crap comics who don't fulfill absolutely anything for years to come. Snowman 2 is half of that and still in demand. It was so bad, Matt Martin decided to self-publish. So, 72,000 in the window, right? Keep that number in mind. And then 158,000 before it was closed. Golden Patriots at 69,958 in the first week. Oh, but definitely published through All Crap Comics and Ethan Van Throatgoat, because that'll definitely help you. But now look where he's at now. 35,000. So Flash has almost doubled this launch number of $35,516, and it's only at $37,356 as of screenshotting this a few days ago, while it's in demand. So tell me how launching with you dummies would have helped Matt Martin. It didn't. It didn't. He continues. Hi, Kevin. How's your wife? Maybe I'll come to your house, show you a good time. See you soon. See how that feels? See how that feels as your anonymity is being stripped away and I live an hour from you? Gets a little real, huh? Take comfort in the fact that my identity is known and that gives you some assurance. Perhaps when your identity is known, your threats upon innocent people will cease as you'll be forced to act like a responsible adult or face real-life consequences when you piss off the wrong one. So again, you're basically admitting that you're for doxing. Congratulations. You're a clown. You're the entire circus. It's just jokes, bro. Jon Femalin cries over comic books. 2-time bitch of the year. Wanting to know someone's information over comic books. So remember, they didn't, and the thing is, they didn't keep that same energy, right? When Riley and all the other little weirdos were showing up to Eric's warehouse, Eric's house, doxing his warehouse, they didn't, and they said it was just jokes, bro. It's just jokes, bro. But even someone like Flash, which I've already stated in a previous video that, yes, Flash shouldn't be saying that. I absolutely condemn that. Apparently now it's not jokes, right? When it happens to them, it's not just jokes, bro, anymore. So the hypocrisy is hilarious to me. It's the same thing where old Juju the cow was crying about macaques being called that were never called by the person, by Eric at the Dallas meetup. And then literally finding out a video that if someone, of Juju the cow, stating that if someone shows up to your house and writes a cuss word on the door, that you should be allowed to do anything to them under the law, obviously. So, just more hypocrisy from the new CG circle-jerking clowns, as always. So, I will talk about this more on today's live stream. I was hoping I was going to be streaming Expedition 33, but no, we're going to talk about this. This This is just absolutely silly, and it deserves to be talked about. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like the video, smash the like button. Comment below how you feel about this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on the channel. Consider becoming a member for just $1 a month. There's a join button down below this video. You get access to members-only content as well as emojis during live streams when I do them, typically Mondays and Wednesdays every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lately, I've been doing more live streams because of Expedition 33, and I will be streaming Doom: The Dark Ages when that releases. But if you can't spare the buck, that's okay too. I appreciate you for watching the videos and jumping in on the live streams when I do them, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.